How's it going, everyone? This is going to be a quick tip video, not a full installation procedure or anything like that, but it is that it will address all the key concerns, measurements and such like that to get you up and going with the right way to install. It's pretty simple, but there are a couple key points that need to be addressed. So here we go. All right, so critical points are, you want to start out by making sure the car is on the ground, suspension loaded, or up on a drive-on lift. Again, suspension loaded. This also applies to cars with subframe connectors because there is still flex in the bumper in the car, even if it's up to 1/8 of an inch. So what you want to do, once you got your car positioned, take off all the undersheathing of the car. If you still got it, all the plastic underneath parts. Get that off, and then what you want to do is position the splitter up underneath the car for temporary mounting, and you just can use some paint cans, Coke cans, whatever. Just to give me, it's going to depend on how high your car is and everything else. So Kraylin, you could probably use, like a fucking, I don't know, something like one of those foam pads or some shit. Anyways, you guys get the point. You can use something underneath there to prop it up and get it, positioned up snug against the bottom of the bumper. And the critical key points you want to measure here are the distances from this tip to the bumper. You want those to be flush with each other, perfectly flush if you look from the side. And also you can see the way the light reflects, how it all makes a straight line. Those are critical things as well. So you want to make sure this is flush all the way across here, and the other two that have to match are the sides. So you want to follow this curvature all the way around, and you go to its shallowest point, and you want to measure from here to the edge of the lip. We're going to base that measurement there. Same for this side. You want to follow this curvature all the way around to its shallowest point, and we're going to measure the distance from the bottom bumper to the edge of the plate. So you'll be moving the splitter back and forth. It'll take a little bit to get it right, but once you're happy with the measurements, let's start from over there. That one, and then the one in the middle all match up to how you're going to be happy with them. Then you can scribe your holes. You can use a scribe or a marker on the bottom of the bumper, and only do the front 6. The very 2 back holes we'll address later. So you want to scribe or mark the front 6 pieces, and then you want to test fit. After you get those done, you want to test fit your rods up underneath the bumper, and you can see up in there where mine are mounted. So test fit them up in there and mark your holes. Again, this is just the way I did mine, and I already spec'd everything out for you guys to do the same thing, but do it as you feel, of course. And you'll notice I shipped every one of your splitters that already has the measurements already put into place exactly as mine. So yours, you'll see, have drastic angles on each side. They're actually matching mine for the positioning of the rods to be just like that. Of course, adjust them as you wish, but I was trying to help out as much as I can along the way. So after you get your holes all scribed up, marked up, then you can pull the splitter off the car, then remove the bumper off the car, and then once you remove the bumper off the car, you can drill all your holes. Again, we're only going to do the front 6 and then the 2 holes for the edges of the rods. So get your holes drilled, deburred where you want them. Now install your top splitter rod pieces. Make sure those are fastened up in the bumper, so that way when you put the bumper back on, you ain't trying to struggle fighting them to install them, because it's not going to happen. It has to be installed with the bumper off, the way the mesh works and shit up in there. Again, if you have that part of the car factory. So once you get your top pieces installed onto the bumper the way you want them, then you mount the bumper permanently back on the car. So you mount it, get it all fastened down, and make sure you do not put on the bottom sheathing yet. Bottom sheathing is the very last piece. So you get the bumper back on the car. Now you want to make sure the car, again, is on the ground or on the lift. And this is to make sure the car doesn't flex. The reason why the car has to be on the ground and up and down, and this is such a tedious process, because if the car is up in the air, on ramps even, I've noticed, anything that the suspension can't be fully loaded and moved forward, there will be a gap. The splitter itself will actually shift back. Everything moves. It's pretty interesting. So you want to make sure the car is on the ground, fully loaded, and then you want to temporarily fasten the hardware I gave you, the 6 fronts. So you want to install those and just tighten them finger tight. Get your measurements right again on the sides. And once you're all happy with that, you know, you're happy with that measurement, and that measurement. And it's very critical the very two match each other, because if the very two outside shallow points match each other, the one in the front will as well. So once you're happy with that, tighten them down really tight with just your hands only. And now you want to fit the back of the splitter up underneath the car, and you'll scribe the hole or use a marker if you want. And the reason why it has to be installed like this is the very 6 front holes are larger than 5/16. And you want to use a 5/16 size or 8mm size drill bit for this. Either unibit was what I recommend. It makes the cleanest holes, but it's got to be 8mm or 5/16. So you'll notice once you scribe the holes on the bottom and you go to drill them, the holes on the splitter are actually bigger than the bolts that I sent. And this is specifically for adjustment purposes of the splitter when it's on the car. So you want to drill a 5/16 hole. All 6 of them across the front will be 5/16 or 8mm. So you'll hang the splitter up in there and then tighten them all down real tight with your hands. Mark the edges, and you'll notice the back two are smaller, but they're actually perfectly snug for the hardware that I sent. It's because the way it has to adjust in the front will make it stationary in the back. It'll be a fixed point in the back so it can't slide anywhere, but the adjustability happens in the front prior to it actually being permanently mounted down. So again, mark those sides, pull the splitter back off the car, drill your holes, your 5/16 holes, deburr them, and then when you're done with that, now you can put the splitter up on the car, put all your hardware in, make sure it's all hand tight, mount up your splitter rods, make sure everything is super loose, and then you can start tightening everything down from the front. So you want to start the front two and work your way to the outside. Make several passes till you feel what's comfortable. I don't recommend going too tight, but the thread locker I sent will help negate any kind of looseness you want to add into it, so you can have a little bit of flex in it if you wanted. Add a little bit of adjustability so the hardware doesn't back off. So once you get all the hardware on, it's all the way tightened down. Now you can actually tighten your splitter rods. And then you got your lock nuts on the end here, and then the hole in the center is so you can put, I think it's a 0 or 00. You can stick something in there. I think it's a 00 screwdriver. Stick it in there, and then it helps you lock down the lock nuts. And then once you get that done, that's pretty much it. Then you can install the bottom sheathing on the car, and that's pretty much it. One other note on this, that little bottle of little spray that I sent, that was something I made up myself. Make sure you shake it well before each use. Helps the good smell off of it a little bit stronger actually. So yeah, shake well before each time. And that detail spray is to detail and keep that satin look across all the way, including those foam pieces. I haven't done mine yet, but I sent you your guys' splitters with those already detailed. So once you put that on there and the whole thing, it makes it look super, super nice. Yeah, that spray is pretty awesome for these anyways, but I hope that addresses all questions. If you guys need anything, let me know. I'll address it as it comes. Otherwise, thanks again, guys. I really appreciated everything, and look forward to pictures. Have a good one. Later.